Right. And that's where we are.
Okay. Omna. So we are on Parashat Balak, Zohar Sulam, page Lamed He, or 35 in the English. We are on the right-hand column, about 2/3 down. Omnam Itzhak atzmo, but Isaac himself, lo היה יכול להמשיך היין. If Isaac himself would bring the wine, and Isaac is the left side, which comes down from Binah to Gvura, and Gvura is Shechar, already it's like maybe like whiskey, right? שאם הוא היה ממשיכו, היה מאיר ממעלה למטה. If Isaac would have bought the wine, this is like pulling the wine from up down. Again, this is more like the ism, meaning the idea is, instead of going from the ground, from experience, this is what it means that the Anavim are, or the Eshkolot, or Parcha, Nitza, and so forth. The real wisdom comes from the bottom up. And if Isaac would bring it down, it would be from the top down, which would cause Pesel Masecha. כדרך קו שמאל שהוא סוד יין המשקר. Okay, so if Isaac would have given the wine, it would make you drunk, because again, this is the idea of conceptions, which you become in love with these conceptions, you become drunk and you fall asleep 70 years. Right? This is the story of Rav Nachman, right? That the one who's supposed to look for the Bat Melech, the Nefesh, person is looking for himself, finding himself, so he says, we have communism, wonderful. This is the substitute for the water, this is substitute for the Torah. This will solve the world's problem, and you become drunk with it, and you don't want to listen to anything else already. Humanity, everybody we should make communism in the world, and this will. So this, you fall asleep 70 years, meaning that you're so drunk with these conceptions that, the world is, you're not having any interaction with the world because you just want the world to be. This is what it means, it makes you drunk, these isms, these conceptions. And this is the danger of Isaac, or getting it straight from above and not letting it grow and blossom from the bottom up, from real experience, real understanding of human nature, society, and so forth. אלא רק אחר שיעקב, שהוא קו האמצעי, תיקן את היין, שלא יאיר אלא בבחינת המלכות. He fixes the wine, that the wine only, you press it out, the anavim, the eshkolot, which is the malchut, you press them down here, yeah? You don't, so to speak, get them, way up there in their source, but only when they come down to the reality, in the sense of growing from the ground up and becoming ripe for digestion, and דהיינו ממטה למעלה, and this is what Ashlag calls from the bottom up. עד שאז נעשה ראוי לשתות, then it is proper to drink that wine, ואז נבחן ליין המשמח אלוהים ואנשים. Then this is the wine that makes joyful God and man, because it enriches your understanding, right? And it makes your life happy.
Can we just pause here for 1 second? It's very difficult for me, this whole thing.
Okay.
Because as we've always learned, wine is the left side.
Right.
It's coming from the left side. Itzhak's the left side. I've never heard of Yaakov making. How does he do this? And what we're saying is, if the conception comes from on high, then it has a lot of vuah.
Right.
But somehow, and I'm not understanding how at all.
Yeah.
If the grapes somehow are pressed and the wine's made from the malchut, from our world,
right,
somehow it doesn't have demon.
Well, you don't get drunk.
I don't know what. Yeah. How does this? Is there an idea behind this? What is?
Well, first of all, the idea that we mentioned, that the tzaddik, the midline, he, so to speak, takes the ger out of the left line. The ger of the ger. And then what tzaddik remains is the vak of the ger, as Ashlag would say. And this is the tzaddik, meaning even though tzaddik has all this knowledge, all these conceptions, so he would say to, Well, this is just knowledge and conceptions, not, you don't get addicted to them.
But is it still wine? It's still wine?
It's wine because now the wine is sort of, you're really pressing it or you're making use of it only based on your real knowledge of experience. The problem with ism is that it is an abstract conception, and the application, this is the problem. So the tzaddik says, well, it's a very nice abstract idea, but let's see, I'm going to check it against my real life experiences, the traditions which I received to understand more deeply human psychology, social psychology, nations. All these things people don't understand deeply enough what really drives a human being, and what really drives a nation. And because the ism, it's like a naked conception. It's like the nachash haya arum mikol chayat hasadeh. The nachash has a potential for everything, but it has no form. The DNA has no form. Nothing,
In and of itself.
And so you have to see if, well, does that really did this conception really fit reality? It doesn't fit reality, right? Because we saw it later on, right? That all communism broke down, the kibbutzim broke down. Why? Because it doesn't really understand human nature. It's a wonderful conception. And we also have it in the Torah in a certain forms, but in a more realistic, that you have to give tzedakah all the time, right? You have to give 10%. This is how you balance the world, You're dealing with the reality of human nature, not some sort of a fantasy of this utopia. Yeah, we have a utopia in the end, but it'll take a long time to transform human nature. Individually, it takes a long time, and society will take.
But can you say, is this far out to say, like a lot of times, especially in North America?
It's again like a very good question, like you said before, that we say, Emet me'eretz titzmach. This is a verse. Emet me'eretz titzmach. And the idea of the grapes, he says, the idea is the grapes contain the wisdom and intelligence, right? But you have to wait until they become ripe. Alta nitza parcha. Okay? Then you squeeze it, meaning that your life experience, the experiences of the avot, of our fathers, they squeezed, they understood life from experience. This is the real wine. That's the real wine. It's based on intuition, logic, tradition, meaning not stupid, meaning but accumulation of knowledge. And my experience, I assimilated all this. So now you give me isms, very nice, wonderful, abstract things, but I know human nature cannot work like that. This is what you get drunk with these all the time new conceptions. This will solve our problems.
Be more to the reality. So it's kind of like this in North America when people drink wine. You know how they drink wine? A lot of people, especially upper middle class, comes 4 o'clock, they pull out 3 bottles and they just drink the wine.
4 o'clock when?
In the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Thank God it's not whiskey. I thought it was whiskey.
About women, but they pull out the wine, you start guzzling. Now in Italy, in France, it's not like
with
that.
the meal.
Yeah, with the meal, and it's much more. Is there a big alcoholism problem in Italy, like there is in America?
Not like in America.
Not like in America. And these guys are raised drinking wine.
Because instead of drinking water and Pepsi Cola, they drink wine.
But the idea is that when you have it with the meal and you have your wine in that grand format, like the French and the Italian.
You get drunk, but when you're
within friends and within the meal, it's a whole different. When you're sitting there chugging down
just
wine,
because you want to forget that
it's a totally different wine experience.
You don't want to face reality. You want to
So I want to say so in the Italian French way. So we're bringing it from the bringing it within harmony as opposed to the North American way.
That's like this.
No, North America is. Certain aspects is very new society.
100%, no doubt about that.
So there's an advantage in Europe has found certain things. There's an advantage because they have long practices, America was a place to get freedom, but it's like the Israel It's very young. The culture is still very like a baby. They don't understand nothing yet. Nothing. There's no real culture.
Drink wine in Italy and France, and say in these places of Europe, you have wine and you have bread on the table.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just like the Torah says.
That's it.
Melchizedek brought out lechem v'yayin.
It's supposed to make you happy, not drunk. This is the difference with wine. That's why wine. Why wine? Let's talk about something else, because wine has that ability.
Right. The alcohol, right, which is the main thing over there, which opens up, let's say, the blood vessels. You know, this can help your mind function, but unfortunately also the
as you said, within measure.
Right. So this is also the wine which is sitting on its dregs and the east from Genesis, meaning that nobody mixed it up. It slowly, all of the bad stuff fall down, like it sits in the barrel a long time. So this is the best wine, is sitting there from Genesis, from the time of the creation.
Right.
This is what the Kabbalah is really, that when you begin to understand really the depth of things, modern Kabbalah, I mean, you begin to see reality, in a higher way. It's like you're drinking the wine of this old wine from Genesis. Zikaron le'maaseh bereshit. When we say Kiddush, this is what we mean. You want to experience the creation, recreating yourself and the world. This is wine that doesn't make you drunk. It makes you happy,
That's what Melchizedek brought. What did he bring?
To Abraham, because he was also humble enough that the Kohen Gadol is bringing it to Abraham. He says, Abraham, you are bigger than I am, And he sees it, And he taught Abraham all of the tradition, Because Abraham didn't have the tradition of humanity,
But he had the insight.
He was a great soul, but he didn't have enough tradition.
They received the tradition from Melchizedek.
All our fathers, Avraham, Itzhak, and Yaakov, learned from the yeshiva of Melchizedek.
Why priest of On?
Priest of On is Egypt. On is Egypt. On means power, sexual power.
It's in that part, no? Melchizedek?
No. This is with Joseph. This is Joseph.
Okay.
This is Joseph. Joseph going to Egypt. In Egypt there was...
Melchizedek Shem, isn't it? Shem to Ever.
Melchizedek is Shem. Shem and Ever. The real sons... Shem. The sons of Noah, he lived about 400, 500 years. So he was still alive during the time of Abraham, and he was in Jerusalem. And he was the high priest.
Right. Melchizedek's not necessarily a name. It could be a title, like Paro. It's like a title.
Yeah.
Melech Tzedek.
Yes. Yeah. So this is very important, what he says over here, that real wine is wine which grows with, like age, that your life experiences.
Right, don't drink it.
And usually the isms, it comes from young people that, again, want to forget the bad things of the world or change them. They can't change themselves, so they change the world.
Don't trust anyone over 30. That's
okay, so this is very important, and he uses that in the dream of the Sarah Mashkim, that he talks about the flowering of the vine, and then the grapes becoming ripe, because as you mentioned, right, that the Meraglim, Yemei Bikurei Anavim, the grapes were not ripe, and they got their ideas not ripe, and this is what caused them to fall, right? Why the Torah mention Yemei Bikurei Anavim? Who cares? They brought grapes, very nice. Why mention Bikurei Anavim? Because, as the Chachamim says, this is what they got it from, that Adam ate from the grapes. It was not ripe yet, He got drunk like Noach, right? He planted the vine, and he got drunk with his spiritual understanding, not ripe, and he was, in the Indian tradition, he is Manu. And you look at his book of religion, you go crazy, It is very, very mixed up, our laws of korbanot and all. Over there it's just a lot of confusion, too much too much into the culture, you know, too much the sacrifices without end, you know, all sorts of pretty crazy. Anyway, so this is what he says. The concept is, again, the tzaddik, that he's humble. He doesn't get drunk from his knowledge. He cut off the head of the left side. Meaning, every time you hear something new, like in the world, right? Oh, wow! Look at, wow, this is great, you know? This is the way the people are in the world, right? Somebody wrote a big book, wow, this everybody talks about. Then they forget about everything, you know? This is what it means, you cut off. You stop being excited every time you get a new conception, new idea. You're more humble. So you cut the head of the left side. And this does only the middle line. Yaakov, the tzaddik, the yesod. Because Avraham, Itzhak on the extreme left. So if Isaac would have brought the wine, he would become drunk. Okay? So this wine is proper to drink. This is why we also don't drink, so to speak, the wine of the Goim. Okay? For that reason also. It comes too much from the left, from the side of Esav, so to speak.
And he would have given it, and that's a brilliant subject,
yeah.
A brilliant secret what you're saying right now. That was Rivka. Why was it so important for Yaakov and serving? We're always thinking of the food. And no one mentions the wine. All you care about the food. Go get me food. I want food. Bring me food. But you're saying a very important secret. If Esav would have given the wine, we'd be in big, big trouble.
Yeah. Moved
everything way to the left. If Esav was way to the left.
Because Esav is the isms of the West, yeah, all the conceptions of the West, right?
So Rivka saved us.
The Western world, which comes from, the slow growth of the Western world, which is predominantly left brain. This is a big problem. The world is drunk with these conceptions of the economy, you know. All of the way the world is run is very much Western. It's conceptions which are not really ripe, yeah. And they come from too much from the left side. This makes the people drunk because they believe, you know, somebody writes a book in economics, this is the way we should have the economics, you know. And this is the big problem. Or the government, the way they understand government, all these things are a big problem. אמנם יצחק עצמו לא היה יכול להמשיך היין, שאם הוא היה ממשיכו, היה מאיר ממעלה למטה. If Isaac would have brought the wine, this would be a catastrophe, right? Because he is the left line. כדרך קו השמאל, שהוא סוד יין המשקר. This would be made you drunk. אלא רק אחר שיעקב, שהוא קו האמצעי, תיקן את היין, שלא יאיר אלא בבחינת המלכות. The grapes, yeah. It doesn't come from bina anymore. The root of the grapevine is bina, but the real grapes are down here in the malchut, meaning the reality. You are learning intelligence and understanding from reality, right? Not the conception is hidden in the reality, so to speak, okay? Because you see reality very deeply, the conception flowers. The understanding flowers. When you're not deeply in reality, then the conception is something abstract, flowering up there, you know, in your head. It doesn't come from real experience, yeah? This is what it means that it's from the bottom up. This is what it means God hid wisdom in the earth. He established the earth and wisdom. Ve'emet me'eretz titzmach. Truth grows from the earth, from experience. It's not enough abstract, naked conceptions. Yeah, and this is what happens too much.
And just to emphasize that, Yitzhak was blind. He had no conception of this world. He lost his conception of this world. He was a blind man. So it was even worse in his situation. Right? He was already in some other upper
If he
world.
wouldn't be blind, Yaakov couldn't sweeten the wine. Couldn't do the work.
This is very, very important idea. This is very important idea. Yeah.
Right. That's exactly
that
right.
You usually fool people because they are blind. Not really blind, but their conceptions make them blind. Yeah.
Right.
They can't see.
Can't see the
You can fool them easily.
Okay, you have to help it because you have to put, you put this,
Yeah. The whole show.
that it
but
touch.
it's all symbolic. You're 100%.
It's symbolic, yeah.
all symbolic.
Yeah, this is the movie I saw. There's symbolism for that, Made of put on a beautiful facade, a nice man,
$200
successful man, and people are very few people because something smells over here. Even his sons, almost nobody can smell
Nobody.
because they hoard.
Yeah.
Because he makes money, and they're all rich people. They already have millions. Make me more.
That means he had to have the apartment, he had to have the car, he had to have the clothes.
He had a big name. I didn't realize it. He had a big name in the state. He wasn't that rich. He had nothing really rich. He was,
He was stealing from
He was simply stealing,
But he had to make